Hey guys, welcome to this new video. Today I decided to go through Combobulate, which is a package I've been using for a while and in the recent weeks, and I thought it's just worth sharing it with you in case you might also become interested in the way you could utilize this for some structural navigation and editing within your buffers. So Combobulate basically uses tree sitter, and it's built on top of that, so you would definitely need that as a prerequisite. And like the author of the package is the author who's written Mastering Emacs. I think Mickey Peterson is his name. So he's a veteran in Emacs, and you can't really go wrong with using his packages. Feel free to go ahead and read his articles about this package. They are a good, insightful write-ups of how this package works, what are some challenges, and what you are able to do with it. I will also show you some of the capabilities of this package and what you are able, or some of the commands, and features that you could use for cool stuff. Here you can see that you could install it like this. I use Straight, so I thought to share it with you. This is basically taken from the repo here in the end of the README. You could see how it's set up. So some parts are related to tree but here you could see the Combobulate itself is just set up like this. Is not that difficult. The difference is that here, since it's not using straight EL, you have to set the load path so you can load Combobulate wherever you have cloned it. But since I'm using straight, it's just easier. You just give the GitHub link and it will handle things for you. Alright, so now let me show you some of the capabilities Combobulate provides to you. Let me just bring up the command log buffer so you could see the commands I'm going to use. I will start with some of the navigation features, which is basically, at least for me, it is the crux of this package and just makes it so smooth and nice to work with. First is selecting nodes, which is with Alt-H. With Alt-H, you will see this interactive mode where you can now cycle between nodes. It works in a bottom-up fashion, so from where you call this function, it enables you to cycle the parent node and the parent node until it hits some limit, which is usually the whole file, the program node, which is like the parent of all the other nodes in this file. So that's one thing. You could also directly select some node with the control 3 or control 4, basically control plus a number that you see on the screen. So if I do control 3, you could see that now this code block without the variable name and the equal sign is selected. If I press enter, now it's actually selected as a region, and I could do some stuff with it. Let's say using evil mode, I would delete it and go into insert mode with C, and I can change this to 177 as some random number. That's one of the main things you can do. Let me go to the tags and show you some of the other capabilities. Alt-E and Alt-A is also another way to navigate. It's not selecting, it's just going back and forth between the next and previous logical expression. As if you bring up navigate, you could see the different navigation. So Alt-E and Alt-A is what I showed you right now. Another cool thing is going down or up the syntax tree. So basically doing some sort of DFS from where you start navigating, which is with Control Alt D and U. So with Control Alt D on this div, if I do Control D, I would now go, let me do it again, this was bugged out. If I do Control D, it goes down and it selects A, which is inside the div container. And you could also see in the mini buffer below that div has two tags of A, which are siblings. So if I do D again, now I am in the image, and then like it goes into the different attributes and etc. And Control U will go up in the syntax tree. So I'm just going up to the return value, and it will probably select the a function, the app function. Now that's one way of navigating, so it's going up and down. Another way is to move between siblings, in this case between the A tags in this scenario. This one, again, you use Control Alt or Control Meta, but you use N and P to navigate between the siblings. This is now equivalent to some sort of BFS, it's BFS in action. Let me show you in this part as well. So for example, we are in this object. We will go into the children, into each of the key value pairs, and I want to like hop around between each of the elements inside this. It's really cool actually. Like you could see how nice it gets. You could imagine you have like bigger objects, like each object is like you have nested objects, and you just want to quickly move around the siblings without having to like do the like traditional way of navigation. So this is one thing. Another thing is dragging. So we have now selected number 3 node, this pair or like element, and we want to like drag it and reorder it in the object we have. What you would do is using Shift Alt. So Shift Alt P would drag it up, and Shift Alt N would drag it down. You could also check like keep watching the command log buffer so you know what commands I'm using. So Alt and P and N is basically dragging this down and up. Another way or another place you could use it again is just in this like tags in TSX files. So I could do P and A, and like I'm basically swapping these two A tags. It's quite nice actually. Like I really enjoy using these navigation like commands. One other thing you could do is like wrapping some tag or some code block or region that you selected with Alt H or something, and wrap it with some like inside an if statement or an expression, or in this case inside a new tag. Let me for example show you. I have this header, and I will select it with Control 3. So now we have this header tag, and I will do Combobulate envelope, and you could see the multiple like options you have. But here I'm just gonna like wrap it around a tag. I want to wrap it around a div, for instance, and there we go. Like we basically now have like a div which now contains a header instead of a separate header outside of the div. So it can become very handy in like large projects or like specific scenarios. So that's another cool feature. We could also, let me show you, for example, let me wrap this one around a if statement, like envelope if statement. So there's also, make sure that you are in the like correct TS mode or TypeScript mode. We're using TSX TS mode, so I'm going to use this, and there we go. So we have now our like variable or arrow function, let's say, inside an if statement, and I could like do, I don't know, count is equal to 3, then we will just like declare this even though we're not using it. It doesn't make sense logically, but you get the gist. So lastly, I think I can show you cloning and splicing. So splicing is kinda nice as well. Like, let me select this and let me do Combobulate, and let me do, for example, splice up. Basically it's deleting the parent node and anything inside it. So you might come in handy. You want to like, let's say again, let me go to this header, let me just select it. Nope, not this. Yeah, alright, so let me demonstrate. For example, you want to move it out of the div and you don't want the div anymore. I'll just do Alt up, So that's one way of doing it. There is also splicing down. I don't know exactly how that would work, but let's try it out. Splice Alt down. Apparently it's doing the same thing here, except that it's not deleting the the sibling. But let me try this. Let me do, for example, this. Oops, sorry. Let me try again. Yeah, so it also takes into consideration which sibling you're using the splicing. When I do it on button, it also deletes P, but if I do it on P, it's not deleting button, probably because it's not considering that below P. So it's interesting. Sometimes it can get confusing how exactly it's doing what it does, but trying to visualize the syntax tree or the parse tree of this file or whatever file you're using will really become handy in your navigation and editing with this package. So that's the splicing that it could be useful for you sometimes. Lastly, I'll just show you how you could do some cloning. Let's see, for example, we want to clone input. So Combobulate clone, and there we go. So we have clone input. Now we have two inputs, and I think if you use some let me describe Combobulate clone. Yeah, so if you use arg, you could clone it multiple times. That's also something else to remember. You want to have 3 inputs instead of just another clone. You could use an argument for that. And with this, we've kinda seen some of the capabilities this package provides. There is more to it. This, I won't claim this is a comprehensive deep dive into this package. You have some options with AV or multiple cursor. You also have query building, but I don't really use them, and I don't even use AV, or I don't use multiple cursors. I don't even have them installed, so it didn't make sense for me to demonstrate it, and I was not even familiar with them anyways. So feel free to go ahead and explore this package. I hope at least this video was able to give an introduction of what this package is capable of. The navigation functions and highlighting functions, as you can see here, alone are just worth it for me. And the only downside is that unfortunately it's limited in terms of the languages it supports, but I hope we'll see more languages added to it. Again, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask or leave any comments you would like. I'll check them out and answer them whenever I can. Thanks.